Hi, this is Josh from Aldi Reviewer, and today we are looking at the Ambiano 2-in-1 Cyclone Vacuum Cleaner with Pet Brush, or what we just call the Ambiano Pet Vacuum. This is an Aldi find. You can only find it in stores for a limited time. Once it is sold out, you will not be able to get it again until it comes back, whenever or if ever that might be. At the time of this video, the vacuum costs $30, which if you know anything about Cyclone vacuums, that's really low. We can't find anything close to that in terms of price. Most vacuums like this one are going to be at least $60, and you're looking really more at the $100 to $200 category. So for comparison, and I brought it in here, you can look at this is a Shark Rocket that we got on sale for about $100, but it typically retails for about $200. Not going to spend too much time for comparison, but I'll put the Rocket and the Ambiano vacuum side by side just a little bit for comparison there. And I may be referring to the Rocket a little bit. They're not really in the same league because the Rocket is way more expensive. But, you know, when you're deciding on whether or not to purchase a cyclonic vacuum, you are choosing between choices, and it's probably nice to be able to at least have some frame of reference between the two. So the Ambiano vacuum is pretty easy to put together. It comes out of the box kind of all separated, but it's not hard. One of the things that I learned very quickly is that there is a connector piece that you need to make sure that you install at the outside set. I made the mistake of, it may not come out easily, but I made the mistake of not putting this connector piece on first, and I couldn't figure out why my rod wouldn't stay connected. Once I figured that out, everything else was pretty simple. So it's got this connector piece that you put in, and then once you do that, everything else goes in pretty well. You can use it either as a vacuum with a telescoping pole, and of course this pole does change size depending on if you need it to. You can also take the pole out and you can connect your devices straight into the vacuum like so. So if you want to use it more like a hand vac, you can use it like a hand vac. Most people are going to be using it obviously as a full-length vacuum, which is the way that we have it set up here. It does come with a few different accessories like the usual stuff. It's got your kind of your crevice vacuum. You've got like the one with the bristles on it. It's got one, this one is advertised as a pet attachment, like this being the pet part of the pet vacuum. And then you've also got this one. I'll show you the bottom of it. It does have a little bit of a fur strip on it, that red thing that helps to capture hair and such. We tried out all of them, and they all work fine. It's really easy to use. To turn it on, you just pull the trigger once. And when you pull the trigger a second time, it turns off again. So it's just a single touch on and off. In terms of power, the suction feels good. We tried it out, including in some areas that I had a fair amount of cat hair. It vacuumed them up fine. The one thing we ran into with hair is the thing that we run into, it seems like with every vacuum, which is the hair getting caught in things. This particular piece, for example, is, again, this is supposedly the pet accessory. Hair gets up all in this thing, and you can kind of cut it out, and if you want to, which is what we do often with our Shark, is we have to just take scissors and cut that hair. This one also does separate. It actually has you can unscrew this and it all comes apart. I was able to do that, get these pieces out, pull the hair out that way. It was an aggravation to get everything back in there, but that is something that it will do if you need it to. So that's one way that you can clean it. A couple of other notes in terms of cleaning and assembly and disassembly. Let me take this off for a moment to show you. There's a couple ways in which you can empty the canister. The canister does have a pop bottom, and we got a bunch of junk in there right now. You can pop the bottom open, and then you can just dump the contents into your trash can. That's easy. You can also separate it. It's very easy, by the way, to hit that trigger. You can also separate it like this, and when you disconnect it, then you can pop the top open, which gives you access to the filter. It does come with a cloth and foam filter. You actually have to, you're supposed to separate those when you clean them. But it's got the filters there. You can also take this top part off. May make a mess doing so, but you can remove this, and that's another way to get the canister clean. It's not so bad. So you've got some different ways in which you can go and clean the canister. It does have, it comes with 2 filters in the box, so that's kind of nice. You can clean one and rotate the other one while you're waiting for the first one to dry. And then putting this back on is as simple as lining things up and then putting it back into place, and then lining it up here, and usually snaps on without too much trouble. At least there we go. So really straightforward. So it's fairly easy to use. It's fairly easy to clean. There's a lot. It's actually fairly light. It's lighter than our Shark vacuum, which we do kind of like. Some cyclonic vacuums, I mean, all the mechanism is in this, so when it's heavy, it's kind of annoying. This is not as heavy, and that makes it a little bit less annoying. There are some trade-offs for it. I think the attachments are okay, but they're not great. Like this one, this attachment will bend a little bit, but not a lot. So like when you're getting down on the floor and you're trying to get under, say, like some furniture, it doesn't rotate quite as much as like the ball joint vacuum like on our Shark. But it does okay, and between the 2 of these, you can also, of course, put this one on, and when this one's on, it goes quite flat. You actually do have some versatility. Overall, we've had really mixed experiences with vacuums in the past. We had a pretty decent upright vacuum with Aldi, and then we had a cordless cyclonic vacuum that was just dead on arrival. It never turned on. We would say that this probably falls maybe a little bit closer to the first one. I wouldn't say it's a great vacuum. It's a $30 vacuum, but it does actually work okay. It's not hard to use. It does the suction that it's advertised to do. If you're somebody who's looking for a cyclonic vacuum, don't mind having a corded vacuum, and you're looking to do it on a budget, like say for a dorm room or for a small apartment where there's pets, this is actually a pretty good one to look at. And the fact that it's backed up with a 3-year warranty serviced by Caloric, the company that makes it, is not a bad bonus. Again, this is the Ambiano 2-in-1 Cyclone Vacuum Cleaner with Pet Brush, or if you prefer, the Ambiano Pet Vacuum. And it is in stores while supplies last.